Hello everyone, Spicy Tamala here with a quick review on the new multiplayer mode for Ghost of Tsushima called Legends. Legends is a free add-on or DLC for Ghost of Tsushima, so if you have the game you can go ahead and download it right now. As I started playing this game, it reminded me a lot of Marvel's Avengers, so I will probably compare it to that game, because they're very similar in terms of gameplay and the flow of leveling up, matchmaking, etc. And it makes sense, because both games are co-op multiplayer. The main difference between the two is the Marvel Avengers isn't a very good. Sucker Punch, they just got it right. For those of you who watched my live streams on Twitch, you know how much I hate Marvel Avengers. They just did everything wrong. However, Legends is a whole different story. So let's get started with this quick review. Let's start with the classes. In the main game, you play as Jin Sakai. Jin Sakai can be played in different playstyles, and what Sucker Punch did was divide these playstyles into 4 classes. The classes are like the different heroes in the Avengers. All 4 classes have some similarities, but they also have unique abilities for their class. For example, the hunter specializes in archery while the samurai specializes in different sword stances. I will be making another video talking about each individual class and give you a more in-depth explanation. Just like Marvel Avengers, each class has their own set of perks, outfits, gear, and in this game, sword kits. The best part is that it's all free. You earn everything by finishing missions or completing challenges, and that is fantastic. That is exactly what I wanted and Sucker Punch delivered. I like all the classes. To me, they are all amazing. I honestly had a hard time choosing the first class. And yes, you can unlock the other classes as you level up. And unlike Marvel Avengers, you can be the same class as anybody else. So if you want to be an assassin, and 3 of your friends also want to be an assassin, then you are able to do it. Another thing is the gear you get actually changes on your character. Not like the Avengers, where the gear is just a stat and doesn't change anything about the character. Now let's talk about the missions. The game is divided into 3 types of missions: survival missions, story missions, and raids. The first thing I noticed about these missions is that they are all unique. But these survival missions are a little different. First, each mission is in a different location, and in Ghost of Tsushima, location changes your tactic and playstyle, so it never gets old. Like I already mentioned, in survival missions, you fight waves and waves of enemies, but at the same time you have to protect certain areas from enemies. The missions themselves feel like a story mission because Gyozin narrates the basis or reason why you're fighting waves of enemies. Gyozin is a storyteller in Tsushima. He's also the person you talk to start the Legends mode. Throughout the missions, Gyozin will commentate on things going on. For example, here I got a kill with a bow and arrow, and he says,
Ghost, hit them.
another time I got an assassination kill, and he comments on it.
Silent blade, silent kill.
In one last example, my teammate revived another teammate, and he says,
Ghosts never left their wounded to die.
this happens throughout the whole mission, so it feels like a live story that is happening right now. At the end of each wave, you will get more points that give you more buffs for a short time. These include things like spirit pets, spirit bears, lighting enemies on fire, health regeneration for all your teammates and yourself, and a few others. This is not a basic survival mode, it is well thought out. Story missions are based on mythology narrated by Gyozin. These are my favorite types of missions because each one is unique, each one has a different visual and feel to them. Story missions reminded me of the Mystic Tales from the main game. These missions have a story that go along with them and usually involve fighting Oni demons. The missions are divided into 3 chapters, and each chapter gets more challenging. Each chapter also takes place in a different location on the island of Tsushima. In these missions, you will mostly clear enemies in certain areas, and sometimes you need to get an element attunement to defeat certain enemies. And these attunements give your sword some pretty cool looking effects. The attunements are also used for breaking rituals throughout the missions. And when you go from chapter to chapter, you will go to an incision area that looks really cool. There's nothing in them, but they look really cool. You'll actually see Gyozin at the very end, just sitting there, telling you the story. I wish he would get up and help you, but he doesn't do anything. The last type of missions are raids, which are not out yet, so we don't know what that's going to be like yet. But we do know a little bit from them because there are in-game challenges. can see the missions for them, and it looks kind of like a hybrid of survival mode and story missions, where there's an actual story that you play through and you have to clear enemies, and it looks like you have to do it with each class because there's challenges for each chapter that you beat with each class. These honestly sound very fun. I can't wait for them to come out, but for right now we just have to wait. And to complement the missions, there are challenges, and these are challenges. I feel like teams nowadays grind, and there are a few grinding challenges in this game, but there's very few of them. Most of them are really good challenges, like beating the missions on the hardest difficulty, beating certain chapters, finding all secrets and collectibles in each chapter, and once again, Sucker Punch got it right. As you can see here, here's a few examples of what you can expect from challenges. And there are challenges for your class, there's challenges for the missions, and challenges for raids, which I'm out yet, but we can still see the challenges. Before the release of Legends, we got a trailer for the new mode, and one of the things in the trailer was photo mode. I wondered how they would handle this, since it is a multiplayer game. I had a few ideas of what they could do, but they ended up enabling photo mode when you are playing solo. And on that note, yes, even though this is a multiplayer game, you can play it solo. And on the other hand, you can play story missions with up to 2 players, and the other missions you can play with up to 4 players. I tried out matchmaking and it was great. I didn't find any issues finding people. I did not experience a lot of lag, and the game just worked. There was some lag with 4 players, but it wasn't too bad. The game was still playable. My biggest concern was lag because a lot of attacks need precise timing, but there was very little lag. The game was very smooth, and once again, every player can be the same class. That is pretty much my review on Ghost of Tsushima Legends. The game is great, it is definitely a must buy. The main game was already amazing, and this made it even better. Legends is not perfect, I did find a few glitches, but none of the glitches are game breaking, nor do they take you away from the experience, so in the end, the glitches didn't bother me. Sucker Punch is aware of the glitches, and they are already working on a patch that will release soon. That is it for this video. If you are new, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any new videos, and if you want to see more Legends gameplay, follow me on Twitch where I stream Ghost of Tsushima Legends and New Game Plus. Thanks everyone for watching, see you next time.